Hey everyone, this is Chris and Sandy Bent with the Chris and Sandy Show. We get up close and personal with some amazing guests throughout the entertainment industry. And today we got an amazing one for you. Who do we have?
We have Darcy Donavan with us today. She is a film and television actress, recording artist, author, model, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. She has appeared in roles for hit movies and television shows such as Modern Family, Parks and Recreation, Anchorman, Bones, 6 Feet Under, Entourage, Cult, All My Children, Las Vegas, and Nip Tuck. And she is also a platinum selling recording artist. And in between filming a new action drama to be released next fall, she is also busy recording her new album.
And we also can't forget that she's the crypto queen.
Oh, wow. Yes. We're going to talk about all that.
We're going to talk all that and more. So welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me, Chris and Sandy. Hi, everybody. Hi to all the listeners, viewers out there.
And I'd like to start the show out saying that when we get into crypto, this is entertainment purposes only.
Yes,
exactly. I am not a financial advisor.
Yes, purposes only. Yes,
got it.
Yeah. All right. So, as you know, a lot of people, it's been a rough past 18 months.
Yes.
How has COVID affected you, and what have you done to maneuver through this craziness?
Well, I've actually done really well. I know this. You know, some people, I really got to say it's a mentality thing. You know, I feel like, you know, you can look at things either half glass full or half glass, you know, empty. So my business, everything's been doing really great. I actually been thriving through COVID. And I know a lot of people that have, and in business or anything that you do in life, I always try to tell people you need to be flexible. You need to have a perspective and be able to change and adapt to things that are going on. And you know, that's the thing, is I'm always looking ahead. I'm always thinking ahead of everybody else. Even before certain things were happening, like intermittent fasting, I was into that a long time ago. I mean, so it's like I just feel like it's really a mentality thing, you know, because you can be fearful of something. Yeah. I mean, people don't realize people die more from car deaths than COVID. And so basically you don't think about going in your car going, hey, I'm going to the gas station, but I might get killed by a semi. I might just run off the road or something.
And I've avoided a lot of those accidents.
Oh, he has.
Yeah. Well, but see, that's what I'm saying is that, you know, it's really a state of mind. You know, a lot of people are just so fearful and this and that. And I'm like, listen, you know, getting in a car is just as dangerous as, you know, COVID. You know, you just got to, everything that you do need to take a precaution in life.
Of course.
And you know, just be safe. And so, you know, I had business meetings galore in Las Vegas just recently. And, you know, I'm in Las Vegas. I'm around a bunch of people. You know, I took my precautions. I had hand sanitizer. But see, I was always that way. I was always like, this. But I do feel like having a mask, I think that should have been mandatory for a very long time. And the reason why I say that is because of the air, because of, you know, when people do sneeze. Like I remember my sister and I, we were in Whole Foods one time, and this guy was very sick. And nobody would come to in the line, and me and my dumb butt sit there and think, okay, well, you know, I kind of feel bad for the guy, but he ended up sneezing, and he sneezed like near our food, like obviously it was wrapped up. Yeah. But it was far away, but we still got sick. My sister and I got deathly sick.
Wow.
So I was just like, you know, we were good. We were probably about 4 or 5 feet away, but you know, he sneezed in our direction. So I do feel like, you know, for the flu, you know, for anything,
there's a balance there. You take precautions, but you also live your life.
Yes, exactly.
And being safe.
Yeah, and there's a lot of places that have smog, and there's a lot of places that have, you know, bad air. I mean, you know, in Asian cultures, like in Japan and in China, I mean, their air pollution rate is just insane. Everybody wears them. You know,
Yeah.
they don't get in the sun. They wear like they cover their entire heads when they go swimming. And you know, that's the big thing. You know, my mom loves the sun. She loves to get in the sun. I don't believe in getting in the, if you want to stay young looking, I just feel like, you know,
same here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
people my wife's age always look way older than her, and she's never smoked, drank, don't get in the sun.
yeah,
none of
and
that.
she's got and Sandy's got beautiful skin. Yeah, she's got a
thank
beautiful
you.
face, and it's like flawless.
And
So
she's
that's
mid-40s.
oh
Yeah,
wow,
40,
so
about to be
cute.
45 next month.
Oh, when's your birthday?
January 10th.
Oh, happy early birthday! You're
Oh,
a New
thank
Year,
you.
New Year baby. I love it.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, you know, as you use, when I go out anywhere, I slather that sunscreen on. But
Oh, yeah.
you know, but you do. But I mean, being in the sun is very important. But with the way that, you know, the Earth and everything's changed with our atmosphere, it can be, you know, it can be very, very detrimental, if you know what I mean, to your skin.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And you know, for us, like, you
Agreed.
know, we launched this show January of 2020.
Oh,
And,
nice.
so a couple months before COVID. And our original plan for last year was to do maybe 100 interviews first year. We thought, you know, would be a great foundation. And then bam, COVID happens. And I'm watching everything get shut down. And like you said, you got to roll with it. So I told Sandy, we can't change this, but you know what we can do is all of these entertainers are going to need a place to talk. We're going to give them that place to talk. And because of that, we've done over 300 interviews last year, and we're almost 500 now.
Oh, well, congratulations. That's amazing. And see, that's the one thing that I want to tell everybody is that, you know, it's like even with the food industry. I mean, here in Los Angeles, they are very strict, but at the same time, you know, people freak out. I mean, I understand like mom and pop businesses, you know, that's how they make their money. And then there's all these things that, you know, the adaptability factor, but it's the same thing with film and television. But, you know, the one thing that I feel has come out of it too is, you know, people are able to spend more time at home with their kids, with their families.
And we've always been this 24/7 couple, so it didn't change.
Yeah, we've always worked
together.
So
that's great.
Not change anything there.
Yeah, that's amazing. And see, I love to work from home. And I mean, you know, I think it's great that, I mean, I'll tell you, it's, you know, when you have to meet a casting director, you know, and then you got another interview, and then you got to do this, and then you got to do that. I mean, in LA traffic, it is very mind-boggling. And the fact that now, you can be like, I can be on, you know, Jimmy Kimmel's show, 1 minute, Ellen DeGeneres. I could sit here and talk, you know, and be live. That's the great thing is that, you know, I feel like there's more opportunities for everybody. You know, and people,
and it's always been there. We just never take advantage of it.
Exactly, because let's put you this way, because of everything is going digital, and there's they call them EcoCasts, you know, self tapes basically. So actors that would never get seen before in front of major, are now getting seen, and true talent is getting out there to where, you know, you wouldn't be able to submit. I mean, you know, if you're in Nashville, you know, and you want to try to get a, you know, job in New York or get it on a film,
you'd have to fly there.
Yeah, they're like, you got to be here. You know what I mean? So, and I'll tell you that I went for a big, huge show. It was right near Thanksgiving, and I thought, you know, my manager talked to them, and they said, no, you know. They loved my tape that I sent them. They loved the way that I did it, but they wanted to see me in person.
Okay. Yeah.
So they're in Atlanta. I'm in LA. It was right near Thanksgiving. And I found out about this like a day before, a day and a half. So yeah. So I have to pack all my stuff. My assistant's trying to help me. On top of that, I'm trying to run business. I'm doing all this stuff, and you know, it was for, do you guys know the show Stars or Star? Yeah. So, you know, it was a really good meaty role. So I was like getting all excited, but we ended up having to take 2 planes because of the last minute. Then I had to, get a car rental. I think it was around, by the time we got food, by the time me and my assistant got checked in the hotel, it was like 2 a.m. And then we still hadn't unpacked. And then I had to be there to meet everybody like around, I think it was like 9:30 a.m. And then get dolled up again to go. So I went in and I just was not on my game. I will say it. And I told him, I said, man, y'all, but it's like, I didn't get to show my best foot forward because A, I was exhausted. B, I was like trying to find a place. And it was just, it would have been so much easier had I just been able to be in, my studio office and then submit and then talk to them live and then do a live thing like that in LA, as opposed to, I mean, it was like planes, trains, and automobiles. Y'all remember that? It was like trying to get to this thing was just, I'm surprised I didn't have like chicken feathers coming out of my head, from all the stuff I was dealing with. It was insane. So
a lot of people would ask, when did you know you wanted to become an actress? I like to go deeper than that. When did it click that the entertainment world could actually be a career for you?
Well, honestly, since I was a baby, and I know that sounds weird, but it's like my mom always said I was a ham, and I watched a lot of TV, so my mom's like, plus my mom and dad were really, really young, so they used to like dress me up in wigs and ponchos and outfits, and just thought I was this live doll. Apparently, was what my grandmother said. So we used to do like in front of my cousin and I would do these, like I would be the mastermind and go, okay, let's charge our family like $0.25. Let's do these acting bits, and let's do so we dress up and we'd make these sports and tents, and we thought we were so cool. And we were like, and I'd have tickets. I'm like, okay, if you want to see our show,
I love that.
So I've been at like 7, 8 years of age. I mean,
and it's amazing how many people we've had on the show that have said the exact same thing.
Yeah. And so, but that's it. I feel like, it's like, I can't draw. People always ask me, so what can't you do, Darcy? I can listen, if I wanted to, anybody can learn anything. They can. Mm-hmm. But if there's a difference between a natural God-given talent and then something that's learned. So I can't draw worth a crap-a-doodle. I just can't. It's, acting is in my blood. And that's the one thing I would say, but it's just I can't draw. It's like, it's terrible when I'm in Pictionary. People are like, what is that? What are you drawing? That's very strangely, what is that? I'm like, it's a cookie. They're like, a cookie. It's like what is that? It looks like a comet of some sort that's dying.
Well, you wouldn't do that good where the game, what is that game called where you got to draw and your partner has to guess what it is?
Yeah, Pictionary.
The Pictionary. Yeah, that's
So that's what like, I'm a great guesser, but the drawing sucks. I'm gonna just say it. And people know that, all my friends. But I just feel like you're born with it or you're not. And I feel like, my business has always been, acting and singing. So that's just something that's just been, in me since I was a kid. I started out singing actually in church at first grade. So, I was singing and learning notes and, all that kind of stuff. And so then that developed into singing more, getting, lead in the choir. And, just kind of developed from there. But it was music kind of came first. And then, I ended up beating like hundreds of kids at a commercial. And that's kind of where the acting started to come into. And people people, and my mom, she's like, you're a drama queen. You need to be an actress. I'm like, shut up, mommy, don't say that,
Oh, wow.
But I think that's just, acting was just always in my blood. But the music is really what came first.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
But, and then the acting came, and from there it was just commercial. Then I got on a soap, and then a movie, and then all that kind of stuff.
Now, as you know, a lot of people, they see the glory in what you do, but they don't see the grind, the sacrifice, the tears, the struggles it takes. not just to get to your level, but even a career level within entertainment. I always want to talk about that side of it, because I think a lot of people feel like, oh, I've got a talent, I should be able to make it. But we both know that there's a lot of broke, talented people out there. It's way more than that. So tell us a little bit about some of the sacrifices and struggles you've had to go through to get to where you are today.
Well, in saying what you said, Chris, that's a valid point. I mean, you got to look at, there's a lot of not great singers out there. Let's just call it, in the studio, they're just not that great of singers, but they're great business people. So what I tell people anytime I talk to them, it's not acting, it's acting business. It's the music business. It's the entertainment business. So you could be the most talented person out there, but if you're not a good business person, forget it. It ain't happening.
Yeah.
So, that's it. And if you're talented, it's not easy. There is a ton of competition. You have to move away from your family if you're into certain demographics, like, LA is the place to go. New York, Nashville is really great too. It's definitely.
We're moving to Nashville next year.
Yeah.
Where?
Nashville.
Nashville?
Yeah, Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh,
I mean, probably. I mean, of course,
probably
one of the outskirts, of course, but still, but somewhere within the metro area.
Yeah, my mom right now lives in Kingston Springs.
Oh, wow.
And I have a place near there, so yeah, I come and visit and stay there. I'm just, a lot of my work is in LA. So, but Nashville, you're gonna love it. I call it. It's like a
big city with a small town and
exactly. It is, and it's that's the one thing I love about Nashville is the people, and you get that sweet vibe. You don't really get that here in LA. I'll just tell you that, but I bring it here. I mean, there's just, I'm like, I'm going to make you like me. Okay. I mean, come on. It's that, I try to always put the Southern, it's funny because people go, why are you so nice? And I was like, well, that's how I was raised to be. I mean, why not? It's like, and if somebody's a jerk, there's usually a reason why they're a jerk, but, again, the business, like we were talking about, you're going to deal with difficult people. I deal with people with egos. I mean, I can't tell you how many A-list. I will say this. I have been lucky. I have dealt with a lot of, I worked with Chris Pratt, Nathan Fillion, Will Ferrell, Christina Applegate, Paul Rudd. All of them are super, super sweet. But I will tell you, there is other people that I would rather probably want to go get like
and that's
a
within the industry.
Exam. I'd rather, go and get some surgery on my eyeballs rather than dealing with these people. So it's and and I try to tell people, I'm like, if you're going to be in a business like this, don't be a wuss, don't complain, do what you need to do. But I'll tell you, Chris, it is not easy. Even when I'm, I've done modeling, I started out doing modeling too and doing pageants.
Yeah, because you were Miss Nashville, right?
Yes. And I mean, but I had to do campaigns where like it's freezing and I'm wearing this cute little sundress and it's like 30 below and literally my eyeballs, I mean, stuck to my face. I mean, like stuck to my eyelids. It was just terrible. So, I've dealt with stuff when, trust me, that's one of the reasons why I do like television series better. It's a little bit better more as in terms of what you're doing. Yeah. You're on a sound stage, there's a set time. They have more structure. They have great food. When you're on a film set, it's a little bit more kind of, it's definitely different. The structure is definitely different. It's a little wild and out there. But, I definitely would say that, I've had situations where, you're freezing your butt off and, you got to remember your lines and, you're literally trying not to freeze on set. And you're just like, oh, my God, everybody's in parkas and you're in these little
outfits. If you're playing a dead person and you shake.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that would
exactly.
Be
and then, we had situations where I played a detective in one show and it's like, you've got smoking conditions. We're in an attic where it's like, I'm wearing a suit, literally a cop suit. And it is sweltering hot. We're in a warehouse, and I literally passed out. When we were on our break, I just, the director's like, "Oh my God," I woke up and he's like, "Are you okay?" But that stuff happens all the time. People don't realize it's not easy. And there are so many people, so many other actors, including myself, that have broken bones, actually, I will not do the extreme stuff because I just don't feel like it's worth my health. But there's plenty of actors that have, gone on and they now have very bad health issues. So, I just I love my job and everything, but I'm not going to sit there and I'm not going to ruin my health for that. Right. Yeah, I'm just not going to do it. So, but I do know enough technical stuff to where, it's like, okay, put me in a fat suit. Okay. I'm not going to gain 1 million pounds. Okay. We can cut it to where, okay, I have to look anorexic. All right. Well, we could just snap a girl's head on top of mine who's really, really skinny. So there's things you can do. Come on,
this is the 21st century, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And speaking of the 21st century, let's flip the script a little bit and talk crypto. From the crypto queen. And again, I'm going to say it again. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Mm-hmm. We are not financial advisors.
No.
That's a disclaimer.
And another disclaimer, you're a CMO of a crypto, right?
Right. Well, I'm seeing not of a company that's a crypto company, but it's eCoin Finance. Okay. And I will say this, for everybody watching and everything, you need to get a pen and paper, because what I'm telling you, it's kind of like if you were at the bottom of Google, of Amazon when they were first coming out. You want to get in on this. And what I tell everybody is it's kind of like going to Vegas. I always say the same thing, but I'm known very well in the crypto communities for my analogies, because it makes everybody understands the analogies. So, when you go to Vegas, have you guys gone to Vegas, right?
Not yet.
You haven't been
on it. It's on our bucket list.
We're going to take you guys to Vegas. So when people go to Vegas, a lot of times they're like, okay, I'm going to gamble. I'm going to spend some money. Yeah. So what I've done, because I went a long time ago with an ex-boyfriend. We gambled. I remember we got into it. We were arguing because he lost money and I lost money. And we were just like, then we got into money that we weren't going to spend. We're going to use for souvenirs. So the thing is that I learned from that, and I was like, now obviously I was like 19, 20 at the time. We went to the Bahamas, and we didn't know. It was just dumb what we did. So now, when you go to Vegas, you take an envelope. I tell everybody, take an envelope, say, hey, this is money that I'm going to spend, and I don't care what happens to it. So if it's $100, let's say you take 100, 200. You're like, okay, I'm going to put in the slots, or I'm going to play cards. But if I lose it, I don't care. It's not even that. But what if you win 2,500? What if you win 3,000? What if you hit the jackpot? So that's kind of what I tell people with crypto. You take money. I've done my research. I tell people to do your research. But everything, any company that I work with, anything that I do, I've done the research. I've invested into them. I've had my family invest in them. And if you tell mom and dad to invest in it, you better well damn know what you're doing. Because I don't want to be that. Well, Darcy, you told us this for Christmas, and this is what happened. I'm not going to deal with that. So,
and a lot of people lose because they pull out too early, because crypto is always going to go down.
Exactly. And that's the thing that just blows my mind. It's like, leave it in there, just like Vegas. That's what I keep telling people, take that money, invest it. I had somebody the other day say, exactly. And you just leave it in there. These are true stories here. A man just sat here. He invested 500 a couple years ago into a particular crypto. Mm-hmm. So he ended up, actually one of the cryptos that I'm with, by the way. So he ended up going into a coma. He had an accident, went to a coma. He ended up waking up not too long ago, and he's worth, let's see, what was it? 600 what was it? 600. Sorry, my assistant's here, so we're talking. It was like 624 million, I think.
Ooh, wow.
It was around that. I think it's 624 million.
That's just like, I remember a story, and of course I won't say what names, but where last August a company launches and a guy puts and they said if you put $1,000 in that month, the next month they went to 500. The next month they went to $1 and something for 4 months. And then like 5 months later, it went up to 19,000, then 50,000, then 100,000, and then eventually several million.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, there's a man who invested $5,000 into crypto, and he's now worth 5.4 billion. And the time I'm telling people is now. It's now. It's not, next week or 2 months. It's now. So that's why I'm trying to tell people you really need to get in on this now. I mean, I definitely know. I just have no doubt I'm going to be a billionaire. I'm not, and I'm like, I know it. I'm not worried about it. I'm excited about it. I'm excited what I can do with charities. There's so many charities I want to help, but I really want to make, a difference in the community and stuff. And so that I'm like, God's going to bless me with this. I just feel it. But
now, what do you think about the idea? And I will say the coin on this one because I like the idea. Sure. What do you think about the idea of the Miami coin, where the mayor has created this Miami coin, and his ultimate goal for Miami is for that coin to pay all the taxes, where the people who live in Miami will never have to pay taxes if it works the way he wants it to work.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so many things. There's actually a company that contacted me in regards to like pure energy. They're working with pure energy. So absolutely. I mean, the thing is that you really have to do your research on the company. You have to look at what's called their white papers. You got to look at it's with anything. It's like looking at
some money invested in, and we watch and then we're learning. And we haven't had a rug pull yet, thank God. But there've been a few that were like, is that a rug pull or is that just people taking their money?
And see that has happened. And, rug pulls do happen. And when they do, a lot of people get upset, but the one thing I will have to say is the companies that I'm with, I know the CEOs. I'm actually, I am a CMO, the Chief Marketing Officer of eCoin Finance, and I've been working with them. The thing I like about it is they're what's called a utility company. So they're a utility coin.
That's where the future's at.
Yes. And so they have their own what's called wallet. And so, basically, I invested into eCoin. They're working on their own debit card. There's a lot of stuff that's like in the works that I can't talk about, but it's happening. So that's why I'm saying invest now, but it's going to be one of the sleeping giants. But I want to say, and I'm going to tell you, Chris and Sandy, my top 4 picks. And these are excellent companies. I've invested in them. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but I want to say to everybody, think of money as Vegas. Take a couple $100, put $50 in each one or $100 into each one, whatever you can do. I just had a friend say, "Hey, I got $1,000. Can I give it to you? Can you?" And I said, "Yeah, just split it up between the 4." So, she did that and she's really excited. So I just told her, I said, that's what you need to do. So, eCoin Finance is my number 1. So eCoin is number 1. The other crypto is Flavors, like FLAVORS, and it's called capital BSC, Flavors BSC. The other one is X Mooney. Now, X Mooney, they just had a new advisor come on, Thomas, who's very well known in all the crypto communities because he's worked with another huge crypto currency coin company, and he did the marketing. He did a lot of things for them. So now he's the new advisor and brand ambassador for X Mooney. And the last one that I absolutely love, which is doing huge things, is SafeMoon. So again, have you guys heard of these?
Yeah.
eCoin?
Yeah.
Okay.
The SafeMoon have, but the other two haven't.
Right. So eCoin Finance, Flavors BSC, definitely X Mooney and SafeMoon. But they are my top picks. They're what I work with, and I'm very, very selective. You know, I get bombarded all the time and on Twitter. So I will say this, you know, if anybody that's watching, or even Chris and Sandy, if you guys ever have anything, just, you know, email me. Also too, I have my Twitter. That's where, if you really want to get into crypto, go to @Darcy Donavan. And it's spelled Dona. It's not Dono. It's Dona, everybody. So go to Darcy Donavan on Twitter, and there's spaces, Twitter spaces, where you can learn. And so the crypto communities are on there. They're listening. It is a very awesome, safe, like, we're just a really good community. And, you know, people lift each other up, and I really like that. I mean, they have my butt, man.
Speaking of lifting people up, let's talk about your love, the daily doses of.
Oh, my book?
Yeah.
That's my book.
Yes. Oh,
I gotta tell you, this is the one thing I'm proud about. But I bring it, even though it's big. This is now for everybody watching. This is, it's a table book. You know, it's a tabletop book where you put it amongst your other books, and like, because it's a nice big book. But the great thing about it is, you open it up, you have 365 days of inspirational messages, and then at the bottom I have a Darcy's Daily, where it'll tell you, you know, what you can do to make yourself better. And I try to tell people, I say, write on the book, do it with your, you know, like Chris and Sandy, you guys could do it together. It's kind of like a devotional. Like, let's see what's today's date. It's December the,
what is it?
9th. Is it?
Yeah, the 9th.
Yes. So today is inspiration so everybody would be, you know, reading or whatever. It says, be an inspiration. And it says, if you can dream, you can achieve it. And then then at the bottom, it would have my Darcy's Daily. And it says, can you list 5 things that you've done to inspire other people recently? If not, grab a piece of paper and think of 10 things that you have ever done to inspire people, why you were successful, and how much it did to help those people. So talked about inspiration. Yeah. And so the thing is that you can do it, you know, with your family, by yourself, wake up in the morning, go. And I tell people, you can write in it, you know, you can look at it year by year, and, you know, you're never going to go wrong, but it's every single day. And so that's the one thing. I really do. I love my own book, because there were so many things people kept saying, hey, please write a book. All my fans kept telling me, you know, will you write a book? I helped quite a few people from suicide and depression. That's one of the reasons why I wrote the book, because, there was several people that, they were literally in the act of going to commit suicide. And then they were like, hey, you know, you're what you said today really resonated with me. And then I talked to them. So, and then they're like, you know, yeah, you let me see a different perspective. So, you know, people want to get the book.
I'm big in the inspiration and all that. And we've told our story a few times from stage and all that, because I went through 19 years of addictions until God healed me almost 14 years ago.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
The first 5 years of our marriage was really hectic on her because of those addictions. But, you know, she was my angel. She never nagged me, never put me down. She loved me in spite of the addictions and loved me through them. And, you know, sometimes people will kind of mock and say, oh, she allowed you to walk over her. And I'm like, not really. She actually allowed me to experience God's pure love through her.
Exactly.
If it weren't for that, I wouldn't be here.
And no, I agree. I deal with PTSD, and so I'm there with you. You know, now, have you had trauma, Chris?
I've been through so much. That's a story in itself.
Right. Well, and see, I'm there with you. You and I have that in common, because that's what people would have always told me. They're like, I'm surprised you haven't killed yourself. You know, when they know my backstory, or they're like, I'm surprised you're not like addicted to drugs, or, you know, yeah. Well, but that's the thing. A lot of times, and I'll tell you, you know, it can be definitely, when you're dealing with trauma, a lot of people, they don't realize. What I noticed, a lot of people don't realize is that, you know, people are in pain. And so they, you know, it's drugs, alcohol, painkillers, whatever you can do to get rid of that pain. And I was thinking about this last night. It's funny that we're talking about this now, because I was like, you know, it's really a play on words. People don't realize, they look at, when you say, oh, it's a mental problem, or it's a mental, or what's the stereotype they say? It's like, oh, they're mentally, well, no, not mentally disabled, but it's like, what I've noticed is that when you sit here and they kind of say, oh, they got bipolar disorder, and they're, they got this problem or this, but they don't realize that it's like they're brain sick.
Yeah,
so
my
it's
friend
like
Joe even said that no one ever talks about the pain.
Yeah, it's and it's true. So because I was in a lot of pain, but my thing was I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't do what I had to do. It was just terrible. I was in pain mentally, physically. It debilitates you to where then, it's like you feel like you can't do anything. And that's the one thing that people don't realize is that, it can definitely be something that takes over your whole existence of living. And then you have to have people, like I have a great team of people around me. I have people that, they're not family, but they're family to me. They are blood to me. So,
and blood's not always family.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll tell you, family can be the worst. And, that's been my problem. I've had a lot of family members, betray, do things that were really bad. And, I had to go through therapy. Yeah. Well, I had to go through a lot of therapy and trauma. And I used to get so mad. I go, God, why am I going through all this? Because when you're going through it, you don't see the end. So I now know that I kind of have like this platter of just all this bad stuff that's happened. But yet now I can talk to anybody about anything. See, I can talk to you about addiction because, I've had friends in my life with addiction. I've had to deal with, depression and PTSD and all kinds of things to where it's like, it was debilitating. So I understand what you're going through, but I'm really proud of you, Chris. I got to tell you, I'm really proud of you for overcoming that. God really put a blessing on you. So that's amazing. And look at where you got a beautiful wife. She looks great. You look great. You've got a great show. So, I tell people, because my mom, she would be kind of embarrassed. She goes, well, I don't know if I want people to know about, because my mom went through domestic violence, her and I both. And she's like, I don't know if I want people. I said, Mom, it's good. Let's talk about it.
Your story is what heals you.
Yeah, exactly. But there's other people going through that. And you can make a difference. And I'm like, Mom, these people need to know about that. How, if you had to go into hiding and, I had to go live with my grandparents. So it's like, there's a lot of people that don't know what to do. They're scared or, this or that. But, my mom's very successful. She does have trauma that she deals with as well. And, she's on, her and I both, we have to take medication, because of all the trauma that she's dealt with and I've dealt with. But, what I try to tell people, it's no different if you're an athlete, it's no different if you're in a car accident, whatever. The brain is the same thing. It's a computer. So, that's even worse when you go through
like they
trauma.
say, garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly. So, sometimes you have to reset that computer. And that's what I try to tell people, I like to say, they're brain sick, their brain is sick, or, I don't like to say broken, but I like to say, hey, they're sick. And I try to say, you need to do self-care. But, I'm very, when it comes to business, I'm a badass. I don't put up with stuff. I just really don't. I'm just like, if you're not gonna bring something happy in, there's been times where I've told, people that work for me, I said, you need to go home. I said, because your energy is like a fart in church right now. I don't need that. Go home and get yourself mentally right. But, mentality wise, I can't even tell you all how many A-list celebrities that I've worked with and, have dealt with, are
that's like most comedy, like people who are in comedy. In most cases, they're in comedy because of the trauma.
Exactly.
They found a way. They found a way to heal through comedy.
Well, look at Robin Williams. Nobody knew. He is a comic genius, and it's like it's the same thing with me. I'd have a smile on my face. Nobody knew at school. They're like, you always have a smile. But I'll tell you, the minute I didn't smile, It was like everybody thought the end of the world was coming. But, they didn't realize that morning, I saw my mom get the crap beat out of her by my stepdad. And, we're hiding in the room and trying to get him to where he's not coming in. It's my ex-stepfather, he was very scary, and, he beat us. There was a lot of things that he did were bad. He sexually abused me. My mom didn't even know it. My mom, actually came to the house, and it was too late. I was like, we need to get out of here. We need to get out of here. And so it's nothing that, I'm 8 and 9 years old. You shouldn't be having to deal with that stuff as a kid. Exactly. But, I've always had a strong spirit, but there's a lot of people who don't. And it's sad to me. I try to be kind of a coach. You have to be tough. In the business, in the entertainment industry. Yeah. It's anything that you do in life. I mean, even in the wild, people don't even realize, if the moms just sit there, baby birds, they're basically, okay, I'll feed you, fed you, you got it. Okay, now get out. You can't, if you can't flap your wings, if you can't feed yourself, well, then you're giving somebody's meal,
Yeah.
Like that, that's like they say in the jungle, the lion only has to be faster than the slowest elk or whatever he's going after.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah, exactly. But I'll tell you this. Now, this is where you got to think about it too. A skunk and a lion. A skunk will not mess with a lion, because he knows, okay, I do this. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to get stinky. It's going to be terrible, but look at how small a skunk is compared to a lion. And we definitely know a lion will mess with. So that's why I try to tell people, I'm like, it's not your size. It's not your money. It's not, it's how you act. It's what your boundaries are. There's a lot of things that, you've got to look also in the wild, as in terms of, my nickname when I was a basketball player was Badger, because I was the smallest girl, shortest girl on the team. I mean, these girls towered over me when I was in high school and stuff, but I didn't put up with that. They're like, man, don't get Darcy mad. The badge is going to come after you. So, it's funny because, my friends, they were over at my house one time and I was doing something. They go, hey, Darcy, you're on TV. And I go, oh, is it a show that I was in? They're like, no, and then it's the Nature Channel. It was a honey badger trying to get some honey out of like this bee's nest. And they're like, there you are. You're right there. And, this bee was like, wow. This honey badger was like, I'm going to get this honey, while it's being stung a million times. So, I try to tell people, be a honey badger in life, don't let people run over you. I always lead with integrity and respect, but at the same time, I will not tolerate somebody being disrespectful to me or people that I work with. There just needs to be a respect issue. Yeah. And the thing is, you cannot, you don't have to like somebody. You don't have to. But you can be respectful. Exactly. I mean, it's the same thing with athleticism.
And you can agree to disagree.
Exactly. But it's like, in athleticism, it's the same thing. I mean, when you see boxers or when you see, tennis players or whatever, I can't stand to watch people that are athletes that, have really bad, sportsmanship. There's not respectability. I saw that a couple of times in the Super Bowl, and I remember it just really made me angry because I was like, how many Super Bowls did you win? I'm not going to call anybody out, but I'm just saying they win all these Super Bowls, and then they're mad they lose one Super Bowl. But the way they handled it was just really disrespectful to the other team. And I just feel like you can be. I say sportsman-like in everything, in every kind of business. There's just a way to be able to handle things and to be have integrity and tact. And that's the problem, I think, with the world. I do think that we also, as humans, there's people that we put trust into. And then you're like, whoa, it's kind of like, finding out Mother Teresa is a serial killer. You're like, what? You know what I mean? You're like, oh my God, So, that's the one thing that I feel like has happened, to people in the business. And that's something I do want to bring, hopefully I'm a breath of fresh air to where, I'm real, I'm honest. And, I just try to bring some integrity to the business. So,
and I love this conversation because, our tagline is up close and personal. I don't know if we got much more up close and personal than we have today.
I know, it's great. It's great. And we didn't even need any deodorant. Isn't it awesome?
So as you know, a lot of people, they see you out there, but they don't see the team behind you. In our opinion, the teams never get the love they deserve. So take a few moments just to tell us about the team that helps you be who you are.
Oh, I got to tell you, I have an amazing team. Now, I will say this, okay? My main thing, I pick people, okay? I do. I pick people. My big thing is trust. I can teach anybody anything, but I can't teach them trust. I can't teach them integrity. Mm-hmm. So, everybody on my team has integrity. I have great assistants, executive assistants. Anne, she's amazing. She's an assistant. She handles a lot of day-to-day stuff. I have Rebecca, she's part of my staff, and when we travel together, and she handles lots of the ins and outs. I have excellent business managers, Dylan Nelson. I also have a great other business manager, Richard. He is amazing. And there's just a lot of people on my team that are great. I have great publicists, so Roger Neal, he's great. Love Roger. And it's just, I have people, Christopher, I have writers, Dempsey. I mean, we have a lot of people on our team. God, if I forget somebody, smack me, please. So, it is important to have people on your team that you trust, that you, anytime we go anywhere and I get an award, I make my team stand up. And I say, hey, if it wasn't for them, because there's no I in team. Exactly. You're not going to get to the Olympics with just one person, on a football team or on a basketball team. It's a group effort. So I do feel like, there has been the demise of certain celebrities, certain, talented musicians because of their team around them. But I also feel like it's also up to the person. You have to have a strong, if you're going to be in the business, you have to be a strong leader. You have to be a leader. I see everything going on with Britney Spears, and I think it's horrible what's happened to her. I hate that it's her parents, but I feel like she is a very sweet, and I feel like she's a little bit of a, how can I say it? She's a sweet soul, but I feel like she can be influenced. I feel like, she's just too nice, too sweet. Which people tell me I'm too sweet, but there's another side of me. I don't know if y'all ever seen Yellowstone. Have y'all seen Yellowstone? Okay, well, there's a Beth in me there. Okay, so I'm like, I'm your nicest friend. I'm not going to be the person to do the first punch or betray you, but if you do it to me, we got a problem. So and I'll just tell people, I was like, watch Yellowstone, and then get back with me about Beth. And I said, I think we'll come to a realization you don't want to mess with me. And then they're like, yeah, you're right. So,
speaking of teams, we have a third co-host, or a 9-year-old, that we're allowed to ask a few questions. So Sandy's going to go get
his name's Christopher. Yep.
I'll get him. Wonderful.
And we've got a 2.5-year-old daughter that when she gets older, she'll be plugged into the show too, because we're keeping everything a family affair.
Absolutely. That's amazing. And see, that's exactly what I want to do. But that's the thing. You never know. Your kid might want to say, hey, I want to be a doctor. I want to be an astronaut. That's the thing that scares me. When I finally have kids, I'm like, they may just say, I don't want to have any part of this. Screw this. I want to do this. I want to be an artist. I want to be a paintist, or I want to be a veterinarian doctor. You never know. So.
Exactly. I mean, and the flip side is that so many people want their kids to be doctors and lawyers and all that. And I always try to tell people, don't take that passion away.
Exactly.
Hi, Darcy. So what's your favorite food?
I couldn't hear. I'm sorry. What'd you say, sweetheart?
I said, what's your favorite food?
Your favorite food?
My favorite food? Oh, gosh. Cheeseburgers.
You love cheeseburgers.
Yes.
Cheeseburgers and French fries.
No. And what's yours?
Mine's pizza.
Ooh, okay. Second, pizza. I love pizza too. Okay. That's
he eat it all day long.
Oh, yeah. I'm not one of those girls that go, I'll just have a salad. Yeah, I like to eat. What kind of toppings do you like?
Pepperoni, sausage, and supreme.
Oh, yum. Okay, now I'm getting hungry.
All right, what's your favorite TV show?
Oh gosh, that's hard. Oh, TV show. I do love. Have you ever seen Big Bang Theory?
No.
We have. We love
okay.
that show.
I love that show. I don't know. When I watch it, it just puts me in a good mood. So that's one of my favorite shows. It's so funny, and the characters are so cute. So, what's yours? What's your favorite show?
Mine is SpongeBob.
Oh, SpongeBob! I love SpongeBob. I have a dog that looks like SpongeBob.
And it's been cool is we bring he watches a lot of the Nickelodeon Disney shows, so we've been able to bring a lot of the people from his shows onto our show.
Oh well, here you go. Okay, get in touch with me. And somebody just said they got done eating a Swiss cheeseburger with mushrooms. Okay, mayo or not? Yeah, I'll take some mayo, but it doesn't bother me. But now I'm hungry. But you got to watch this movie that I'm in. See, it's a kids movie, so it's on Amazon, and you would love it. It'd be perfect for you. So if you like SpongeBob, you'll love this movie. It's really cute. So I'm one of the stars. Yeah, I'm one of the stars in it. So here's what I'll do. You know what? I'll send you. If you tell me you like the movie, I'll send you a poster of it, and I'll sign it for you. How about that?
That sounds great.
Oh, good. Okay, we'll do that. I'll see if I can get some of the other cast members too.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right. So, what's a favorite movie?
What?
What's a favorite movie?
Ooh, that's hard.
He has the best questions.
Yeah, he does. I would have to say Anchorman. I better do a shout out to them because they really kind of put me on the map. So I'd say Anchorman. Yeah. But I will say my favorite movie it's called Rudy. It's a true story.
That's mine.
No, it is. I love that movie. I just feel like
I love the underdog story.
Yeah,
again,
that's what I was about to say.
I want to see
like
the people who never all my life I've been an outcast. Now it's funny. All the people that consider me an outcast all these years are looking at some of the guests we have on our show. Like, how in the world is this happening? It's because I've been an outcast.
Hey, listen, I got bullied. I got bullied in school. I was, I actually was I was very popular, but I was a loner. And, it was terrible. I mean, I got bullied really, really, really bad. I mean, it's just straight out of the movie Mean Girls, to where, my blood sugar, there's just so many things that happened with my health during that time. It was terrible. And, I look back and I'm like, the girls try to contact me or, it's like, I don't care. You know what I mean? I just what? You don't have to say anything, Chris. Your success says it all, You're like, I don't have to say nothing. That's the thing. It's sometimes the answer of not saying anything is the answer in itself. You know what I mean? So.
Exactly. And what was your favorite movie?
Mine is the Minions movie.
Oh, love the Minions. Love it. You got to come to Los Angeles and go to the Minions show. You got to go there.
That'd be cool.
Yes.
Love that.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. That'll be a lot of fun. Universal Studios.
Ooh. Yes.
Bye.
Oh.
Bye, sweetie. You're so adorable.
Yeah.
Okay. So cute.
We've done, like I said, almost 500 interviews, and he's been on 98% of them.
Oh, it's so adorable. Such a sweet little soul. It's so sweet. Well, I'm telling you, if he likes the movie, let me know. I'll send a couple things. I'll send some gifts to him.
Oh, we definitely will. He will love that. What are some sources of inspiration for you?
Oh, well, first, God, I will say this. I'm very, I was raised in Catholic school. I was raised Catholicism, and my dad was he was a deacon at a church called, Hillel Baptist. But I would say I'm a spiritual person. I don't believe in organized religion. That's just me. I don't judge anybody. I have friends that have all different backgrounds, and I would give them respect. And,
Exactly.
I like to learn about it. I have friends that are Jewish. I have friends that are into Buddhism. I have friends that are atheist.
We have all different types coming on our show. Like next week, we have Perez Hilton coming on.
We do.
Oh,
so I mean, you just don't know. We just
all walks
we have all walks of life. We don't care where they stand. If they're
exactly, and I just
have a story,
right. And see, there's people that judge people and this and that, and they're like, oh, well, how Darcy? How do you feel about the gay community? Or how I have friends that are gay. I have family members that are gay. I sit here and I tell people. It's not, I mean, I look at a person. I don't look at how much money they have, what color they are. I don't look at, what their philosophies, if they're a good person, and it's like, I always tell people that's God's job. That's not my job.
Yeah. I don't want that job.
Yeah, we don't want that job.
So, and I do think, and when people get judgy, I mean, and I've seen that in churches, they're uppity and stuff. And it's like, I know the Bible backwards and forwards. Somebody tries to come at me, with religious stuff. I mean, that's what I studied it in 2 different churches. So, and what I try to tell people, I'm like, okay, if the world's going to end tomorrow and I have to send one parent into a time capsule to say, is being a Baptist, the thing of the world, is being a Catholic, what am I going to do? Which parent am I going to pick? I can't do that. I'd be like, no, I'm not doing it. Just send me up there and I'll die myself.
We're here to love one another. That was his,
to help each other.
Remember, that's the biggest 2 commandments is love God, love one another.
Exactly. And, I just, I guess it just boggles my mind, this whole, racism and all this kind of stuff. And it's just, I have so many people, so many different backgrounds, so many, I've talked to people that are homeless. I hang out with that. I hang out with people that are billionaires. Yeah. I don't judge anybody. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I don't think anybody's better than me. I feel like we're all on the same playing field, and that's how it should be.
Exactly.
And you're gonna listen, you're gonna deal with difficult people. My thing is sometimes I'm like, I'll just tell people straight out. I said, your parents obviously didn't do their job. I said, so now I got to come in and I got to parent you. I'm like, you're going to buy me dinner for this, or I need to get some sort of incentive for putting up with you. So, and I just let out, because there's people, I'm like, that was kind of rude and disrespectful. Do you realize you were being disrespectful to everybody here? People don't call people out. And I think that's the problem. Some of these rich kids, that there's a lot of nepotism in town, but I don't have a problem calling somebody out. I'm like, I don't care who your dad is. I don't give a crap. You need to sit here and you need to learn some respect. Exactly. And, and it's tough because, there was somebody, he's in the industry, he's kind of retired now, but his son makes a lot of bad business decisions, does a lot of things. And I had a friend, tell me, hey, I was trying to help him out and he can't make a decision without his parents. And he's an older gentleman, well into his late 30s. And
oh, wow.
It's just, then my friend ends up getting, basically, how would I say it? The brunt of the decision. He's trying to help him in business. They go into business deal and then he wants to renege on it. He wants to get out of it. And then it's like, you can't do that in life. You can't just like, oh, I don't like this. And then that's not how it is when you're doing a business deal or you're doing a transaction.
Because there's not many times where you have that person that, again, one thing I've learned on doing this show with as many people we've brought on, there's always 1 or 2 people in each of the celebrities' lives that opened the door, that took them that next level.
A pivotal person.
Mm-hmm. But that don't happen that often. So when it finally happens, you can't mess that up.
No.
Yeah, Vin Diesel has a really good story. I mean, he couldn't get auditions. He couldn't get things. He just did himself. And that's kind of the way that I am. I mean, I can't tell you all how many very famous people, that could help me out. They don't. It's like, hey, put me in your film, put me this. So then I'm just like, okay. I'm just sitting there going, okay. Or they'll say, oh yeah, Darcy, I've got this great project. 3 years later, oh yeah, I got this great project. So then it's like, you kind of go, all right, I get it. And what I do is I just put a thing in my cap and I go, I know how to deal with you now. So, I've got all these things with crypto going. I mean, I've got my own production company. I'm doing all these things. I mean, it's going to be a drop in a bucket for me to do films and television and do things like that on my own terms. I've got scripts out the wazoo. I've got some fabulous writers on my team. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm not worried about it. And here's the funny part. I've worked with a lot of A-list celebrities. I've worked with a lot of, worked with B celebrities who think they're A-list and above, and they're like worse actors, and they think they're all that in a bag of chips. But the thing is that there's up and coming talent that I've met that are just, great. There's A-listers that are great, but I've kind of made a Rolodex in my mind of all these people that I'm like, I'm going to help this person with their career. I'm going to do this for this person. There have been, there was a real sweet lady. Her name is Elaine Balance, and she's done a lot of stuff, back in the day. And she emailed me and she said, hey, there's this huge movie that's coming out, and I know that you're perfect for the role. And you just tell your manager. And I was just so like, that is just so amazing that she's so sweet to do that, because a lot of people don't do that. But I push people's
that's like
careers.
the PR, that's like with us being a new show. We've had a lot of PR companies that took a chance on us.
Yeah.
To bring their clients on. Because again, we're not Bobby Bones. We're not Ty Bentley. We're not Kelly Clarkson show.
We're not there yet.
We want to get
someday,
there.
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of this that's happened has been people that's taken a chance on us to kind of help us go to a new level.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I got to tell you, I've had some terrible interviewers. It's like, I would have rather, been reading the newspaper on the toilet. It's terrible. But you guys are great. You're sincere. You're amazing. And, you guys have a great backstory. Plus, I mean, I'll tell you right now, the most successful people, they have a partner they're with, and they have somebody, a lot of the big multimillionaires out there that are doing big things. I mean, they're with their partner making it happen. So, and I'll tell you this, Chris and Sandy, you guys are way above the grade of everybody out there, because, you found the loves of your life. There are people right there that can't even get somebody on Tinder,
That's true.
or even on a dating app. So, you found the love of your life, and then the only thing you have to worry about is business.
Actually met online.
We did.
Oh, you did?
Online. Yeah, we have one of those crazy stories.
We met when it was taboo back in 2002. We met online February 2nd of 2002, talked on the phone February 4th. February 18th, we set a wedding date. March 4th, we met in person. So we were meeting in person a month after we met online to see who we were going to marry.
Yeah, months later.
Which was October 5th.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
And here it is, almost 20 years.
Almost 20. Next year will be 20 years. Yeah.
All right, y'all got to go to Vegas. It's Vegas time, baby. Big. I'll meet you there. I'll have a party.
We don't really want to take up much more of your time, so we'll end with this. What advice would you give that person that feels called to entertainment? And they've done a little bit, but they're still getting their feet wet, but they know this is where they're supposed to be. What advice would you give that specific person to kind of help guide them the next few years?
Well, the one thing I would say is that, where do they live, first of all? What is it that they want to get into? Because there's different aspects of the entertainment business.
Exactly.
Do they want to get in musical theater? Do they want to get into, acting, television? Television is different than film. Film is different than, being in the theater. It's all this, there's all different techniques. So, do they want to be an entertainer, musician? Do they want to be, go travel, or there's so many different things. Do they want to be, an opera singer? So the thing is, you have to really have a plan, and you need to write it down. And what I say is, okay, if you want to be an entertainer, let's just put it out there. Why don't you give me something? Give me something, somebody like a specific thing.
Well, being an actor.
Okay, being an actor. All right. So if they want to be an actor, they're going to need to basically, get in some classes, see what's in the area, do scene stuff, try to get a reel together, try to find out, are there shows, is there any kind of, acting place where they can get, out there, or their managers, agents. But the main thing is they need headshots. You need to sit there and go, what kind of headshot can I get? Because that's really your calling card. So, what's your character? For example, I'll tell you this, people don't realize the average Joe, somebody that looks, just average, and they get more work than people that are like glamorous or this, because of the things that are limited. So you've got to sit there and go, what roles could I play? I know an A-list actor, and basically what he gets is assassin roles. He gets assassin roles. He's like, I always get, I'm the gang leader.
You got to be careful that you don't get put in a box like, the actor that plays Steve Urkel. He got put in that box. When you see,
exactly,
you think of Steve Urkel.
Yeah, and see what he should have done is the minute he got out of that show, because that show paid him a lot of money, especially with residuals. He should have gone against his type, and probably, which he did kind of like, you'd see him be the suave. People are like, woo, that's a suave Urkel. You remember that?
Yeah. So the show did try to, I guess the show kind of helped him out, Stefan. So the show made that, and I bet the show, I wonder if he talked to the show to try to do that, so that kind of get him out of that box.
Yeah,
exactly. So I feel like, if he would have sat there and kind of done a completely different role, he would have raked in probably way more roles, as in terms of, if he maybe if he played a drug dealer, or if he played, somebody that's struggling with addiction, something totally against the role, but he looked completely different. And that's actually what Halle Berry did. She, if you diversify the way you look, and, then, because here's the deal, like for acting, it's more girl next door. I look completely different. People don't realize, there's wigs, there's contacts you can wear. When I was a detective, the director's like, Darcy Donavan is gone. You're definitely a detective. And I'm like, that's what I'm supposed to be. And Anchorman, people are like, you didn't have an accent. I was like, because that was my job. I got paid to not have an accent. So, there's so many things that you've got to sit there and go, what can I do as an actor? Okay, so here's what I can play. All right, so get photos that show that type. But then get into acting, start getting, adjusted in front of the camera. You also got to be, used to acting in front of people and know, where to stand, your slates. I tell people, go on YouTube. There are so many things you can find on YouTube. You can find out about reels.
Find everything there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can.
So there's so many things you can do. So
I love that. And we don't really want to, and I said, I love that. Love the answer. Again, there's so much you can do. And we really don't want to take up more of your time. We've been.
Well, you all have been great. I could talk to y'all all day. We're like family now.
Believe me, yes, I could too. If you go back, our beginning interviews when we first started, I was going 90 minutes a pop because I couldn't shut up.
Hey, I'm the same way, Chris. I'm the same way. My assistants, they're like, okay, all right, that's enough. They call me the mouth of the South. That's the big joke in the office. They're like, Darcy's the mouth of the South. Or, I got to be at a premiere, and I'll run into a fan, and then I start talking, and I'm like, oh, and then we'll start chatting, and they're like, you got to go. You're supposed to be on a red carpet. I'm like, oh, but I'm having so much fun. So,
what's funny is in our 19 years of marriage, she used to get mad at this, but we'd be on the street and we'd run into people. And I'm not talking about people I know, but strangers. And Sandy would know if I got 2-3 minutes in a conversation, we're there 30, 60 minutes easy. And she would sometimes roll her eyes, and we laugh about it now because we laugh about it now because they're like, that prepared us for what we do now.
And that's
and you know what? But Sandy too, you got to also be kind of his executive assistant and say, hey, all right, we got to cut it off. We got to leave. You know, we're gonna be late for our dinner, honey. You know, we got a reservation. We got to go. You know?
So we sort of balance each other out in that way.
Exactly. And that's what's perfect. It's the same thing with me. You know, everybody that I work with, all of our personalities mesh, you know, so it's great. You know, I'm kind of in business, you know, my assistant she's like my sister, you know, they're all like my sisters. They're like family and stuff, but she just can notice, like, I get this look in my eye, like I'm about to go off on this person. I'm about to pit bull them, you know, go Beth on Yellowstone. They're being very, you know, I'm not liking what they're saying. And then she's like, you know, comes in and she's just very sweet and knows, she deals with, I just can't deal with people that are jerks or, you know, the a-holes of the world. I just put them in their place. And sometimes, you know, it's not the best thing to do. I do get in trouble, but you know, everybody laughs. You know, they really do laugh at me because they're like, "I cannot believe you said that to this person." You know, that's a major person in the business. And I'm like, "Well, they're jerk. I don't care. They need to know." And you know, the thing is, though, they respect me. They do. They're like, "Wow, Darcy's not a yes person. She's not gonna just, you know."
And sometimes it's such a subconscious thing for them that they could be just doing it, not knowing it. But when you talk about that, they're like, "Ooh, do I really?"
Self-realization.
And you know, because I heard a story recently where on the Bobby Bones show that Amy on there ended up doing that to somebody recently, and he actually did not realize. He was and then when she was talking to him, he says, "You know, I was being a jerk, wasn't I?" And you know, and he came to that self-realization.
That's great, though. That's great that was a self-realization, you know, because some people don't do it, and a lot of people let people, you know, especially in the business, they'll let people get away with it because of this and that. I mean, look at what happened with Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, money and power. I probably, you know, Harvey Weinstein pulled that stuff with me. I probably would have kicked him where the sun don't shine and then, you know, walked out. But I would have definitely let people know. And it's like it takes that one person and then the ripple effect happened. But it's like, look at all the things that he did and nobody said anything. And that's what's really bad, you know, because I am the person that will say something and will call people out for their bad behavior. You know, I'm kind of at, you know, I just had a recent encounter with an A-list actor that was really just mind blowing to me. That was just not good. You know, I've been trying to figure out how to deal with it. And I was like, you know, he shouldn't get away with the way he's acting, you know, but that's the thing, you know, I told him, I said, you know, you're being very disrespectful. And you know, I told him he needed medication. But you know, I did handle myself with integrity and respect. And, you know, I definitely can tell this man. Yeah. Well, I could tell he's an alcoholic. I could just tell. Oh, okay. I mean, I've been around so many people, I just know things. But you know, he did talk to me about his past, you know, he had trauma and stuff, but you know, it's just one of those things that, you know, this is, I mean, I'm going to be making a lot of movies. I'm working with a lot of huge people. I mean, I'm definitely not going to cast him. I'm just not. And I'm going to tell other people not to cast him because, you know, it was very repulsive, his behavior. So the thing is that, you know, you never know who knows someone. I've always taught, my grandfather always says, treat everybody with respect, you know. So important. Yeah. Your name is everything. You know,
because like they say, really you know, when you're going to people you step on to get up, will be the people stepping on you as you come down.
Exactly. And the thing is that, you know, I'm always nice to everybody. Everybody. But, you know, I remember those people that were rude or, you know, I could tell that they were just, you know, being nice because they wanted something. So yes, you can always tell. That's the one thing.
Love that. So as we close out here, tell everybody how they can find you.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. The microphone kind of went out a little bit. So,
I was saying, as we close out here, tell everybody how they can find you.
How they can find me. Okay. You're awesome. You can find me on Twitter, especially if you want to know about crypto, at Darcy Donavan. I'm on Instagram at Darcy Donavan. Again, Donavan. On Facebook and YouTube, go to official Darcy Donavan. And, there's all on every different social media. I do different things. Plus, I do giveaways. I give advice. I give help. We have a lot of fun in our communities. So we do a lot of
I love that.
Inspiration and humor too. I'm big on telling jokes, so that's my problem. Is that, I love to tell goofy jokes.
I love that. And we really enjoyed having you on today. And
I did too. You all are just absolutely. Well, thank you. And I would love to. You all are just a breath of fresh air.
Well,
and you guys are so adorable. I just love it.
We appreciate that.
We appreciate that. Because you probably not had too many places where you got interviewed by a married couple.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's kind of our family. That's been always our thing, is for our whole 19 years of marriage, even though we went through some rough patches by addictions, our marriage has always been our brand.
Exactly.
Well, and two, you're role models for a lot of people. That's your role model. So, and that should definitely be something that, all the listeners, the viewers should know. It's like, look at Chris and Sandy as role models, because, marriage, people are just getting married now. Marriage it should be more sanctified. It should be harder to get married than get divorced. It should be, you have to go through hoops to get married. Not go to Vegas and get married by Elvis. It shouldn't be that easy. I mean, you can literally do a drive-through marriage. I just think that it should be really hard. And because I think what happens is when people get married, they're like, okay, this person is not perfect, or this is happening, and let me just get out. I don't feel like you should do that. I feel with everything is, I mean, let me put you this way. I'm a big dog person. I've had dogs all my dogs are rescues, but they've had trauma, and I'm not just going to get rid of them just because maybe they sniff at me one day. We had a cat for 15 years
that showed up on our porch.
We did.
She had bad eyes and all that.
Yeah, she had.
And I tell you, those are the most loyal. My dogs would die for me.
Sweetest cat ever.
The kids when they were little.
Yeah, I have one. She goes with me everywhere. Dixie, come here. You want to say hi?
Oh,
you want to say hi, Dixie? I don't know. She's like, I don't know if I'm going to come in here. But, I just rescued her. And, her personalities come out. But, I could tell she's like, are you going to get rid of me? Are you going to leave me on the side of the road? It's heartbreaking. But, there's that trust. But it's the same thing with the marriage.
And that's how a lot of people in marriages are, because, again, maybe the girl's dad left, and then this boyfriend left, and that boyfriend left. And all of a sudden she gets married. Now, all of a sudden, she gets in an argument with her spouse.
All right. First
big fight. And our first thing she's thinking is he going to leave me? Because she still has that trauma from all those people leaving her.
Exactly. And then she's going to act up and do things, to maybe push that other person away. But it's interesting you said that. I'm actually working on a script, actually with one of my very close friends.
Oh, wow.
And her and I mean, we're actually going to be doing something similar to what you guys are talking about, but we're going to make it a movie and to help people with their relationships.
We actually have, I've actually had this idea of Broken Together, where two people married, they're both broken together. And when they fight, they're not fighting from their current circumstances. They're fighting from their past pain.
Right. What they've been through.
Absolutely. And, hey, businesses come to me for business advice. I'm really good at putting businesses together. And guess what I'm going to tell you? I'm going to give you this free advice. Just remember me now when you're making lots of money. But I really do feel like you should, from what I'm saying, you should write a book about your marriage. How you stuck together.
In the works.
And
that's in the works.
In the future.
Yeah, see?
Yes.
You definitely should do that because, tell people what you went through and then give them, tips and things, because there's a lot of people there's people that can't make it past 2 years or a year. Right. I mean, come on. What? Kim Kardashian left somebody, 7 months? Lord have mercy.
Oh, right. I remember that.
I mean,
remember
you know,
Britney Spears back years ago.
What was it? Like a 48 or 72 hours?
yeah,
marriage
Vegas
before
again,
annulment?
Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas. Yeah.
You know, people just need to, you know, nobody has a book on how to love, how to be loved. There's no booklet out there. So, you know, that's the thing, you know, that I want to bring into, you know, the movie sphere. I think there needs to be, you know, I want to make it a comedy, but I want to make it a love comedy to where, you know, it's going to teach people, you know, because listen, some of my biggest videos that I've done, men don't understand, women don't understand. When a man's working all day, he does not want to hear blah, 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 blah. The minute they come through the door, they don't want to hear that. So,
no,
you know, and then same thing, you know, women want to be fed. They want to have compliments all day long, and they want to be surprised.
Exactly.
So they're the most beautiful woman in the room, anywhere in the world. They want to know that, you know, they're wanted. They want to be fed. You know, you take care of them, give them surprises, and
they want to feel like they're being heard.
Oh yes, that's a good one.
You know,
yeah,
because
absolutely.
I think, you know,
and understood. Yeah.
So, you know, that's a lot of men don't get that, and they've not been raised like that. So that's why, you know, once I get this movie together, you know, listen, we'll send you VIP. We'll once we get this together, we'll make you VIP, and we'll say,
great.
hey.
Sounds great. Yep.
We look forward to that.
Well, I just wanted to say I've enjoyed this so much. You two are so wonderful, and I really appreciate you know, coming on your show and talking about everything. It's just been such a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure here
Same
too.
here.
And we look forward, like I said, to having you back down the road.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. Well, I just want you all to have a great day. For everybody listening, thank you so much, you know, for hearing my stories. And I love Chris and Sandy's too. It's so great. So I just want to say thank you all for tuning in.
Yes. Thanks, everyone. Thanks so much for your time today. Bye.
All right. Well, thank you, Chris and Sandy. Love you guys so much. Have a wonderful